It's generally expected in movies that the climax will see the hero finally triumph over the villain, sending everyone home with the warm fuzzies, right? But of course it'd be mighty boring if all films aggressively followed that crowd-pleasing structure. So it's refreshing when filmmakers decide to adventurously stray from it. And so, as a sequel of sorts to a recent list of ours on movies where the hero and villain both win, which you can go and check out later, we have the opposite. So I am Gareth, this is What Culture, and here are 10 movies where the good guy and bad guy both lose. Number 10, The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight ends with the Joker being captured by Batman, and failing in his plan to make 2 ferries worth of people blow each other up, seemingly confirming that Gotham's heart hasn't been entirely corrupted. A loss for the Clown Prince of Crime and a big old W for the Caped Crusader then. Well, not quite. The film still concludes with Batman having watched the Joker kill Rachel Dawes, corrupt Harvey Dent, and in turn annihilate Batman's reputation by forcing him to take the blame for Dent's murders. Oh, and the Joker even makes Batman break his no-kill policy too, when he kills Dent during the movie's climax in order to save Jim Gordon's son. On one hand, the Joker didn't claim Gotham's soul, but he sure as hell left some major scars on its body, and on Batman himself. We can definitely call this one a draw. Number 9, I Saw the Devil. Kim Ji-woon's stunningly disturbing thriller I Saw the Devil follows Kim Soo-hyun, an NIS agent who embarks on a tireless quest for vengeance after his fiancée is murdered by serial killer Jang Kyung-chul. The story indeed ends with Soo-hyun exacting nasty revenge on Kyung-chul, placing him in a guillotine which is triggered when his son and elderly parents pay him a visit, decapitating him in front of them. A fitting end for a serial killer? Probably. Though the final scene where a still traumatized Soo-hyun breaks down in the street makes it clear that he's won nothing and gained no closure from killing him. He's instead gone to depraved depths he didn't know possible, needlessly traumatizing Kyung-chul's family and entirely losing himself in the process, while left with the empty realization that murdering Kyung-chul brought him no peace whatsoever. If thrillers about the futility of revenge are a dime a dozen, few have conveyed that message as powerfully as I Saw the Devil, bringing both its psychotic antagonist and anguished protagonist to one of cinema's grimmest ever stalemates. Number 8, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. If No Time to Die recently served up an example of a movie where the hero and villain both managed to succeed in their operating goals, the criminally underappreciated On Her Majesty's Secret Service does quite the opposite. As expected for any Bond film, 007 manages to eventually foil Blofeld's plan to hold the world's food supplies to ransom, destroying his luxurious lair. A pretty clear loss for Blofeld, right? But in one of the series' most shocking moments, the epilogue offers up a nasty final sting, as after Bond marries Tracy, Blofeld and Irma Bunt drive past and riddle her with bullets, killing her. It's unquestionably the most jarringly melancholic ending to any Bond film, ensuring that while Blofeld's plan has been stopped, he got the consolation prize of completely ruining Bond's happy ending. We've never seen 007 look this lost and defeated before, not even when he was looking at a barrage of incoming missiles at the end of No Time to Die. Number 7, Glass. M. Night Shyamalan's Glass was the hotly anticipated conclusion to the filmmaker's East Rail 177 trilogy, preceded by Unbreakable and Split. And boy, Shyamalan sure didn't want to just give the audience what they wanted here, instead offering up a subversive and intensely divisive finale nobody could have seen coming. What a twist! The three-way dance between villains the Horde and Mr. Glass and hero the Overseer culminates in all three ending up dead. The Horde attacks and mortally wounds Mr. Glass before being shot dead by a SWAT team, and the Overseer gets drowned by another SWAT officer in a pothole. The three main characters on both sides of the equation all lose then. But the real villains of the piece are the secret society attempting to suppress the existence of superhumans, led by Dr. Ellie Staple. While Staple succeeds in killing the three supers, even she can't claim a victory given that the final scene sees her organization being exposed to the masses by the Horde's friend Casey, Mr. Glass's mother, and the Overseer's son Joseph. and though this trio manages to bring the Super's murders to light, they're still bereaved, so it's tough to really call their endings a win either. Everyone loses here, folks, just in varying flavors of suck. What a lovely conclusion. Number 6, Seven Samurai. Akira Kurosawa's seminal Seven Samurai follows a group of desperate farmers who enlist a group of 7 ronin to take out the bandits who plot to steal their crops. While the samurai epic concludes with the bandits indeed being fended off, it comes at a huge cost for the ronin, with 4 of their number dying in the battle, leaving just 3 alive. And if the point hasn't been hammered home yet, the final scene makes it abundantly clear that the samurai did not win here. Kanbei unforgettably tells Shichiroji, "In the end, we lost this battle too. I mean, the victory belongs to those peasants, not to us. The crops may have been saved, but that provides little salve for the samurai, who mourn their fallen and remain very much without purpose, all while the villagers blissfully sing and plant their crops, with little recognition of the sacrifices made for them." Number 5, The Irishman. Martin Scorsese's The Irishman serves as a brilliant companion piece to Goodfellas, stripping away all the sexy flashiness and lingering instead on the empty inevitability of a criminal's life. On one hand, the FBI never learns the location of labor union leader Jimmy Hoffa's body, a mystery which remains up in the air to this very day. And on the other, though hitman Frank Sheeran lives to a ripe old age, he outlives all of his friends while being a pariah to his own family, especially daughter Peggy, who realizes that he killed Hoffa. As a result, the film's chilling coda sequence sees Frank destined to end his life alone in a nursing home, deprived of contact with those he cares about most, and set to be lost to time in short order. All in all, this was a brilliant riposte to decades of accusations that Scorsese has spent his career glamorizing the gangster's life, instead flipping the script and showing what happens if a mobster is lucky enough to become elderly. Number 4, A Simple Plan. Sam Raimi's criminally underappreciated thriller A Simple Plan revolves around brothers Hank and Jacob Mitchell, who along with Jacob's pal Lou discover a crashed plane with a bag containing $4.4 million in cash. Now, to be fair, Raimi's film is a morally soupy parable where true good and bad folk are tough to come by. Hank certainly makes his own fair share of mistakes, but is nevertheless the character we're supposed to root for as the trio's pact to keep the money a secret swiftly goes awry. By film's end, the avalanche of bad decisions catches up with the trio. Jacob kills Lou to save his brother, and Hank subsequently kills Jacob at his own guilt-riddled request. But at least Hank still has the money, right? Nope, he learns from the FBI that the money was marked, rendering it useless and ensuring Hank would have been arrested had he spent any of it. As a result, he burns the money and ends the story haunted by the trail of death and deceit the whole debacle caused. As for the actual card-carrying villain of the piece, criminal Vernon Bukovsky, to whom the money belongs, things don't go well for him either, as he's shot and killed by Hank also. Losers everywhere you look. Number 3, The Favourite. Truly likable characters are also in desperately short supply in Yorgos Lanthimos' The Favourite, but at least at the start we're certainly led to root for the downtrodden Abigail, as she and cousin Sarah compete to become the favoured companion of Queen Anne. By film's end, the lines between good and bad are almost impossibly blurred, though it's safe to say that the outcome for all 3 main characters is basically disastrous. Abigail ultimately triumphs over Sarah, who is exiled by Anne due to Abigail's scheming, but Abigail soon comes to appreciate that being the favourite isn't all it's cracked up to be, leaving her bored and, once Anne realises Abigail isn't quite who she thought, thoroughly humiliated. As for Anne, she's horribly ill by film's end, never got the expected reconciliation with Sarah, and now knows how cruel and insincere Abigail can truly be. Everyone loses then, hooray! Number 2, The Departed. Scorsese strikes again, this time with his Best Picture winning masterpiece The Departed, which reworks the ending from its inspiration, 2002's classic Hong Kong thriller Infernal Affairs, to prevent the villain from winning. Rather than have undercover cop Billy Costigan be killed in the film's climax, and police spy Colin Sullivan get away with it, as happens to their equivalent characters in Infernal Affairs, things go a little bit differently. Indeed, Costigan is suddenly shot and killed during his final confrontation with Sullivan, and though it at first appears that Sullivan's going to get away scot-free, the final scene has Costigan's incensed colleague Dignam wait for Sullivan in his apartment and shoot him dead. There are no winners here. On the hero's side, Costigan dies, and Dignam is clearly left completely broken by the deaths of both him and Captain Queenan, while on the villain's team, Sullivan and mob boss Frank Costello also both die. Death, death, everywhere everywhere you look. And speaking of which, number 1, Death Sentence. James Wan's Death Sentence wasn't well received upon original release in 2007, but its esteem has since grown with general audiences, graduating into something of a gonzo cult classic. The scuzzy revenge flick stars Kevin Bacon as Nick Hume, a father who becomes a vigilante after his son is murdered by a gang member. Though the film ends with Nick killing gang leader Billy, as with I Saw the Devil, Nick's crusade comes at a massive personal and spiritual cost. By the end of the story, Nick's wife Helen has also been killed, his remaining son is seriously injured, and he's left waiting to be arrested for his revenge spree. How the extended ending makes it even worse by having Nick die from his wounds. Even for the standards of revenge but at what cost endings, this one really emphasizes the notion that Nick played a massive self-own by trying to take matters into his own hands.